Hello, everybody. Let me just look at your chats here. How are you? Nice to have you in the room. Ah, yeah. Nice sigh, exhale. You've arrived. You are here. South Wales in the room. I'm Diane. I'm in Boulder, Colorado. I am noticing that there is something here, technologically speaking, I can't control. That there's something about the syncing of my my lips to sound. We'll deal with it. Hopefully the platform will deal with it as well. Hello, San Jose. Gary's in the room. Peter's here. I don't want to miss anybody. You're all welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome yourselves. I love the way you jump right in and start connecting. Beautiful, beautiful. So if you dare, go ahead and really let me know how you are. Do you have one word or a whole sentence, a one-liner? How are you? How are you? Hello, Colette. Norfolk, Virginia's in the room. How are you? I'm waiting. All right. Well, you keep on hypervigilant. Constance is feeling anxiety. Interesting. The two of you. Anxious. Interesting. Hi, Gwen. How are you feeling? Do you know what the context is that's bringing that forward? It doesn't matter to know. You can just still relate to it. There's enough possibilities to choose from to say why you might feel anxious or hypervigilant. Busy. Need to relax. Fargo, North Dakota. I just love the diversity in the room here. Family relationships. Thanks for sharing that. You definitely know, and no one needs to share, but it's just important to ask that question. And then the words that we use, I'm feeling anxious. The A word comes in, getting close into that, or however we're feeling in any given moment. To be curious, right? There's the things that we like to feel and the things that we don't like to feel. And we're going to welcome them all here today in this moment and take a break, reconnect. I'll tell you how I'm feeling. Feeling a little untethered, I guess. Hello, New York City. Oh, Colette, men crossing my boundaries. Need to de-stress, Carl says. Lovely. I love it because you're connected to yourself. So it's not about whether we feel good or bad, right? It's about knowing how we feel, what our experience is. And when we do know that, then we can inquire, we can investigate. That's a tough word. Even inquire is a tough word, especially if you're an attorney. Different kind of inquiry. Nellie, anxious and scattered, not quite here. Yeah. I think that's what I mean a little bit, Nellie, that for myself, that untethered. I think too, that one of the things that have gone into the way that I'm experiencing my life in this given moment is this, in the United States of America, this election period got my head in the news. And I think I've developed a little bit of a pattern. Maybe you call it a habit. It's like a checking. It's a little bit of obsessive. Okay, what's next? And that makes me feel untethered. So it's good to know, right? What we're doing, what our behaviors are, what actually leads us to feeling the way we are. Definitely. Constance gets it. Yeah. And then we have a chance here. We're going to pause. We're going to take some time to reconnect, to put ourselves back together a bit. And from there, we'll know a little bit more about what's needed as opposed to what might be the automatic impulse to get rid of the feeling, which never leads to anything good, right? Never, right? The head in the phone, the head in the Netflix, the whatever. We know it all. We're all human beings. We get it. All right. So I want to offer you a little bit of a quote, and then we're going to dive into our practice together. I think that's another thing. Well, I'm so very happy to be here. I feel privileged to be here. And at the same time, I think it's time. I think it's time for me to go back to also teaching live in-person workshops and getting out there. There needs to be a balance between the online and the in-person. So that's also neurobiology, right? That's not just a preference. It's a biological need to be in that physical connection with other people. And so I'm wishing that I could see you and that we were shoulder to shoulder. So let me offer you a quote, see how it lands for you. It goes like this. If we imagine our being as a room of any size, so the grand ballroom, or just a little tiny one-bedroom apartment, it seems that most of us know only a single corner of that room. Most of us only know a single corner of that room, a spot by the window, a narrow strip on which we keep walking back and forth, back and forth. It kind of gives some security. Does this sound familiar? But isn't insecurity, with all its dangers, so much more human? We are not prisoners of that room. I'm going to read it again. If we imagine our being as a room of any size, it seems that most of us know only a single corner of that room, a spot by the window, a narrow strip on which we keep walking back and forth, back and forth. This is by Rilke. So not a current quote, but certainly currently relevant. We go back and forth in the familiar, even if it's uncomfortable. So sometimes we want to change it up, right? That's the way we're going to grow. We want to get a little uncomfortable. And so see if you can apply that a little bit as we dive into practice. You already have established practices. You know so much already. I know so much already, but I don't know the next moment. And if I think I do, then I'm just arrogant. And then I'm dull. And then I'm disconnected. Maybe that's what's going on with me. So let's dive in. Let's do something different. I want to dance in the room with you. I want to stand up. I want to put our shoulders together in a circle and look across at each other. I want to do all that. Can't do that. I can't do that. But we can imagine it, right? We can imagine it. So begin before you settle into any kind of stereotypical silence and stillness. Feel free, don't wait for me to guide anything. Feel free to move your body in a way that might be not the typical back and forth. What would that be right now? What might that be like? Move it, Or maybe you'll establish a different posture. Maybe if you're used to doing this seated, you'll do it standing if it's appropriate to your body, always appropriate to your body. Move your body any way that might be different than the typical back and forth. Try that out right now. So I'm hesitating moving myself. As you can see, the technology is not very supportive of that. But you could think of me as a magical being as my arms disappear. You can shake. It's just a good one. Get the energy going. And then get rid of all the ideas of how you're supposed to look. That's even better, especially when you do this in a group. Make sounds that might scare your dog. Make facial expressions. Stick your tongue out if you've ever done yoga with the lion's breath. See, I'll be stupid for you. Let yourself try on some moves that aren't the same back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And be with your body for a few moments, just noticing that, noticing the mind's interaction with however you're moving, however you're sounding. Horse lips. Anything you want. Anything you want. Play, play, and play some more. Challenge, be uncomfortable. And then, when you're ready, find your way into maybe a new posture, one that you don't typically practice in. Or maybe face a different direction. Yeah. Not the single corner of the room, right? Try all that out. See what happens. And then once you find that, find the stability, right? Whew. If we're going to be uncomfortable, we need some base to come alive from. So let those feet, if you're standing, be hip width apart, maybe a little further. Really feel a slight bend in the knee. Feel that pelvic base of the body. Seated, feeling the sit bones. Like the sumo wrestler feeling. I am here. Landed. You know, somebody comes over and they push you and you're rooted. Find that for yourself. And then grow from there. Grow the sensibility of the whole structure of your body. This brilliance that's happening outside of your task list. The spine, all its interconnections, all the muscles and the blood and the tendons and the nerves extending up, opening the chest, and all the anxiousness and confusion and whatever else you might be feeling, the expansion, the openness. Let yourself receive. Willingness to be here. As you are, more than whole. I'm looking for another quote to support. So this is more of a contemplative meditation, softening the eyes, releasing the breath. Receiving the naturalness of the return breath through the nostrils, really sensing it inside of you. And then letting the breath be and settling inside to discover these little things that you've added. What's the impact inside? So the mind's content is not going to go anywhere. And so seeing it, all the imaginings and the worries and the forward prospective bias and the past and the this and the that, especially if we've been training ourselves with high level distraction. But for these few moments, just very kindly redirect to this sensibility of being here, the ground beneath you, the reality of this moment, the touch. And get to know, without any judgment, where it is you might be holding or trying, somehow an idea of how this should be going. Come close into the body to know this. Is the belly tight, lower back, base of the body, perineum, genitals, anal region? How's the jaw and the tongue? Allow yourself to swallow. Gentle invitations to yourself. Let go where you can and care for the parts that can't let go. So all the content of your experience rising up, and just see the mind like that pacing back and forth in that very small corner of the room. It's familiar. It feels safe. And the living in a more uncertain way is to let the mind be and remember being here now. That's not easy to do. It's courageous. But come back. Get out of the single corner of that room, of your mind. Drop to the belly. The mind needs to be willing to relate to any and all objects. What's arising in the mind and the heart, the body sensation. Not getting anywhere, just so uncertain what might come, but feeling the stability. Soft settling. There's something here in the breathing that's very trustworthy. It's not just you in a contained place in that small part of the room, protected, but we're receiving each other all the time, intermingling, whether we want to or not. Be curious about your whole body, and as you breathe, noticing the attitude. Maybe there's a bit of holding and protection. Or can I breathe as if I'm expanding and contracting way beyond my own body? That it is a trustworthy, friendly world, no matter the repetition, the back and forth of negative news. It is a very friendly, supportive, trustworthy world. Nothing to believe. Your whole body touch and the breath that touches you. And that any words that are offered are just simply to be gently received, contemplating in a different way, not countering. Note the story that's going on. Come back. Feel the body in its trembling, it's tender, and it's mighty. So feel into the paradox of settling and feeling the security of this stable posture, and also the insecurity, the uncertainty, not controlling. The mind's curiosity and interest, a wholehearted desire to really understand. This kind of intelligent awareness, this wisdom. Curiosity, interest, willingness, wholehearted desire to really understand. Tejaniya. So feel right down into the bottoms of your feet. And into the palms of your hands. And into the receptiveness of your own heart. Breathe together with everybody practicing with you here now. Pause to recognize anything you may have discovered. So beginning with the Rilke quote about being only in the corner, just a small sliver of the room of our being, how we can expand out, which is what we're doing in practice. And Tejaniya talking about how the mind needs to be willing to relate to any and all objects. The picture is incomplete if we only see a portion of the whole process. So the next time I'm feeling, whether it's dullness or distraction or disconnection, I know it's not the whole story. All right, everybody. Let me know how that was for you. Let me know what you're experiencing. How has it informed you? If it has. I mean, everything does. Not necessarily for the better. How is that? How is that practice for you? And what could you take forward? Always contemplate. So these are, I offered a lot of words, quotes. They're not there to think about or analyze. They're there to just kind of slowly breathe them in and let them be with you. Let them be curious. Let them orient a different view, because that's what we need, right? We all get into the corner of our small spaces, and then we need to look out a new window, right? We need each other to do that. Thanks, Constance. Feel more present here now. Good to hear. Good to hear. Thanks for showing up for yourselves. So brilliant that you actually decide to do this. Feeling the possibilities. Love it. I love the P word. Restful. My control of my body. Interesting. Relieved and relaxing. The room is bigger than I know. Yeah. Most especially when we're caught on our limitations, right? So painful there, huh? Much more going on. We just can't see it. We need each other. We need practice. We need the pause. The spaces, as I always say, right? It's like the mortar between the bricks of our lives. It's the transitions. It's the in-betweens. It's not where we're going, not what we're trying to get. It's the space. And I think what I discovered in my current situation is that I do need more space. I do need more space. So thank you. Thanks for being here and allowing me to have some space. Oh, all right, everybody. All right. And you know the deal. So this is a gathering that's put together over many years of, study, personal study, professional study, how to have right livelihood, how to, what Elisha has done is connect you all. So in any way that you can contribute to the cause, please do. Please do. It's good for everybody. All right, everybody. Me and my disappearing hands. More to come. Nellie, nice to have you in the room. Feel much better now. And don't be fooled if you don't feel better. That's not a problem. We're not trying to get anywhere, but there are benefits, right? But we can't be fair weather friends of mindfulness. All right. Needing more space. Yeah, you get it. I know. And no one's doing it to me. I've gotten in some bad habits. I must pull out, like my dog, which I have to take out right now. Gets her mind stolen by the squirrels. I think my mind has been stolen by politics. You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. See you back here soon again. Take good care of those hearts and minds. We need you.